DCCC Chairman, Congressman Chris Van Hollen of Maryland. Congressman, you guys are putting together a new campaign highlighting how the Democrats protect Social Security, but apparently the American people are not quite buying it. We got a poll here. It says that only 30% of the country believe that Democrats stand up for Social Security. 26% say that Republicans do. They do a better job with Social Security. How in the world is it that close?
Well, that's a very good question. That's why it's important that the president's talking about it, and that's why we're going to keep talking about this issue, because the fact of the matter is the Republican leader in the House, John Boehner, the guy who wants to become the next Speaker of the House, was a strong advocate for the Bush plan to privatize Social Security. That's what he stands for. Their point person on the Budget Committee, Paul Ryan, has put together the so-called roadmap plan, which would privatize Social Security along with Medicare. And what these guys essentially want to do is hand over a good chunk of people's retirement savings and give it to Wall Street. I might add that John Boehner, the Republican leader, wants to repeal the recently passed Wall Street Reform Bill. So they want to repeal the Wall Street Reform Bill, which is designed to rein in Wall Street, and then they at the same time want to hand more of our seniors' retirement money and our future retirement money over to Wall Street so they can gamble with it, as we saw in the financial meltdown. That's irresponsible, and we need to get the word out, because that is what they plan to do. Just read their own roadmap.
I understand that, Congressman, but what I noticed from President Obama and from what you just said is that you guys are arguing against privatization, which I get it, that makes sense. But you're not saying you won't cut Social Security, and I'm afraid the reason for that is because that Obama Deficit Commission is going to come in and they're going to say, cut Social Security.
Well, the Democratic caucus was very clear. We had a big gathering on the side of the Capitol just before we left to celebrate the 75th anniversary of Social Security, and it was very clear that the Democrats do not support cuts to Social Security. That is the position of the Democratic caucus. So,
all right, let me get you on the record then. Let me get you on the record then. If the Deficit Commission comes out and says cut Social Security or raise the retirement age, will you fight against it and say it's dead on arrival?
Well, look, here's the issue with the retirement, the commission, right? They're going to come up with recommendations across the board. I mean, Social Security, Medicare, tax policy. I certainly would oppose the provisions that we're talking about if they were to cut Social Security. The question is going to be the package as a whole. And anybody, I think, has to say, well, wait and see what the package as a whole says. But I oppose cutting Social Security benefits. I want to be very clear about that. And the fact of the matter is the Republicans not only want to cut Social Security, but they do want to privatize it. And the privatization component is a very important argument because they have a clear motivation for doing it, which is that all the financial interests on Wall Street, the same guys who clapped when John Boehner said he was going to repeal the Wall Street Reform Bill, stand to make hundreds of billions of dollars through Social Security privatization. Yeah. And it's coupled with their proposal to privatize Medicare. And that's just not a statement they've made. They actually voted. The Republicans in the House voted last year on a plan to both cut Medicare by 75% over a period of time and turn it into a voucher program. So you, a senior citizen, gets your voucher, it diminishes in value, and you got to go out on the private insurance market and find a policy in contrast to today's policies where Medicare guarantees your treatment. So both on Medicare and Social Security, they want to privatize.
But Congressman, I know exactly where the Republicans stand, but I wasn't clear on where you, because I didn't get that pledge out of you. That's what I noticed. I'll be honest with you. So we'll see what happens when they actually bring the bill.
No, wait. No, you're asking for a pledge on something that goes way beyond. The vote is not going to just be on Social Security. If there is a vote at all, it's going to be on a big, big package. And, you know,
the problem is you guys already spent the $2.5 trillion. There's no reason to touch Social Security at all. It has a surplus. It has a surplus.
And I agree with you. And I agree with you on that. That's right. But the Debt Commission is looking at a much broader area.
I hope that you wouldn't say what you were going to do. In the votes. I hope your agreement is shown in the votes.
I hope you wouldn't say what you're going to do on something you haven't even seen yet.
Okay. All right. Let's see what happens. I thought we elected a Democratic president. Let's see what happens. All right. Congressman Ben Hollen, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.